A shadow over the American dream. Undocumented immigration from India. Many Indian nationals arrive legally but overstay visas. Others take riskier paths, entering without authorization. This section delves into their experiences and the precarious realities they face. From tech hubs to vibrant communities, they are woven into American society. Drawn by the American dream, they seek better lives. But the path is fraught with obstacles. The U.S. remains a beacon of hope. Quantifying the invisible, the numbers behind undocumented Indian immigrants. Accurately estimating the undocumented immigrant population is inherently challenging, given their hidden nature. Nevertheless, available data paints a stark picture. As of 2023, the Migration Policy Institute estimates that over 500,000 undocumented Indian immigrants reside in the U.S., representing a significant portion of the total undocumented population. This figure has steadily increased over the past decade, highlighting the ongoing nature of this issue. These numbers, while staggering, only tell part of the story. Behind each statistic lies a human life, filled with hopes, dreams, and anxieties. These individuals are not mere numbers. They are parents, children, siblings, and friends, all contributing to the rich tapestry of American society. They work in various sectors, from restaurants and construction sites to healthcare and technology, often taking on jobs that many Americans are unwilling to do. Despite their contributions, undocumented Indian immigrants live with a constant sense of precarity. The fear of deportation looms large, casting a shadow over their daily lives. Families are torn apart, communities are left fractured, and the social fabric of the nation is strained. The walls close in recent immigration policies and their impact. The Trump era ushered in a period of heightened immigration enforcement, marked by policies like the Muslim ban and the zero-tolerance policy. While these measures primarily targeted other groups, their ripple effects were felt acutely by undocumented Indian immigrants. The Biden administration, despite promising a more humane approach to immigration, has struggled to enact meaningful reform, leaving many undocumented Indians in a continued state of limbo. One of the most significant developments in recent years has been the increased use of detention and deportation. Under the Trump administration, Immigration and Customs Enforcement (ICE) raids became more frequent and widespread, instilling fear and panic in immigrant communities. While the Biden administration has pledged to prioritize the deportation of individuals deemed a threat to national security or public safety, the definition of these categories remains broad, leaving many undocumented Indians vulnerable to apprehension and removal. The COVID-19 pandemic further exacerbated the challenges faced by undocumented immigrants. The pandemic exposed the inequalities inherent in the U.S. healthcare system, as undocumented immigrants often lack access to affordable healthcare and are excluded from many social safety net programs. The economic fallout from the pandemic also disproportionately impacted immigrant communities, as many work in industries hit hardest by lockdowns and business closures. The constant fear of detention and deportation has forced many to live in the shadows, avoiding contact with law enforcement and government agencies out of fear of being apprehended.
The current immigration system is broken. We need a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants who are contributing members of society. The current climate of fear and uncertainty is detrimental to families and communities.
We see firsthand the devastating impact of these policies. Families are being torn apart and people are living in constant fear. We need to create a more humane and just immigration system that recognizes the dignity and worth of all individuals.
Our faith calls us to welcome the stranger and care for the marginalized. We must stand in solidarity with our undocumented brothers and sisters and advocate for policies that uphold their human rights.
Section 5. Unseen hands, vital contributions, undocumented Indians in the U.S. economy. Despite living in the shadows, undocumented Indian immigrants play a significant role in the U.S. economy. They contribute billions of dollars in taxes annually, bolstering local economies and supporting vital industries. From agriculture and construction to healthcare and technology, their labor is essential to the functioning of many sectors. The agricultural sector, in particular, relies heavily on immigrant labor, with many undocumented Indians working on farms and ranches across the country. They perform backbreaking work, often for low wages and in challenging conditions, to ensure that Americans have food on their tables. In urban areas, undocumented Indians are a vital part of the service industry, working in restaurants, hotels, and retail stores. The contributions of undocumented Indians extend beyond manual labor. Many are highly skilled professionals, working in fields such as medicine, engineering, and information technology. They bring valuable skills and expertise to the U.S. workforce, driving innovation and economic growth. Despite their contributions, undocumented immigrants often face exploitation and abuse due to their precarious legal status. They are entrepreneurs, job creators, and consumers, injecting vitality into local economies. Their presence benefits not only themselves but also the communities in which they live and work. Recognizing and valuing their contributions is essential for creating a more just and equitable society.
In the face of adversity, religious institutions and advocacy groups have emerged as beacons of hope for undocumented Indian immigrants. These organizations provide a range of services, including legal aid, sanctuary, and community support, helping to mitigate the hardships faced by this vulnerable population.
Churches, temples, and mosques across the country have opened their doors to undocumented immigrants, offering sanctuary from ICE raids and a safe space to seek solace and support. These institutions provide material assistance, such as food, clothing, and shelter, as well as emotional and spiritual guidance.
Advocacy groups play a crucial role in navigating the complexities of the immigration system. Organizations like the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, and the National Immigration Law Center, NILC, provide legal representation to undocumented immigrants facing deportation, fighting for their rights in court, and advocating for just and humane immigration policies. The work of these organizations is a testament to the power of compassion and solidarity.
The plight of undocumented Indian immigrants highlights the urgent need for comprehensive immigration reform in the United States. The current system, riddled with complexities and inconsistencies, fails to address the realities of the 21st century and the contributions of immigrants to American society. A just and humane immigration system must prioritize family reunification, providing a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants who are contributing members of society. It should also address the root causes of migration, such as poverty, violence, and climate change, by investing in development and diplomacy efforts in sending countries. Furthermore, any meaningful reform must include measures to protect the rights of all immigrants regardless of their legal status. This includes access to due process, legal representation, and protection from exploitation and abuse. By enacting humane and sensible immigration policies, the United States can harness the talents and contributions of all its residents, creating a more just, prosperous, and welcoming nation for all. The debate surrounding undocumented immigration often devolves into abstract arguments about law and order, national security, and economic impact. However, it's crucial to remember that at the heart of this issue are real people with real lives, hopes, and dreams. Families are torn apart by deportation, children grow up in fear and uncertainty, and communities are deprived of the contributions of their undocumented members. The psychological toll of living in the shadows, constantly fearing detection and separation from loved ones, is immeasurable. Behind every statistic, there's a human story, a student striving for a better future, a parent working tirelessly to provide for their family, a dreamer yearning for a chance to contribute to their adopted homeland. These stories remind us that immigration is not just a policy issue, it's a human issue. By approaching immigration with empathy, compassion, and a commitment to justice, we can create a more humane and equitable society for all. Addressing the challenges faced by undocumented Indian immigrants requires a multi-pronged approach that goes beyond simply enforcing existing laws. It demands a fundamental shift in perspective, one that recognizes the inherent dignity and worth of all individuals, regardless of their immigration status. A comprehensive solution must include a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants who are law-abiding, tax-paying members of society. This would allow them to come out of the shadows, live without fear of deportation, and fully contribute to their communities. Furthermore, it's crucial to address the root causes of migration, such as poverty, violence, and lack of opportunity in sending countries. By investing in economic development, promoting human rights, and fostering diplomacy, we can create conditions that make migration a choice, not a necessity. Finally, we must create a more humane and efficient immigration system that upholds the rights and dignity of all immigrants. By treating all individuals with respect and fairness, we can create a more just and equitable society for all.